Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the Swetlana AI podcast, episode 268. We are sifting through a stack of sources today that detail an AI release so comprehensive, it genuinely feels like a corporate declaration of war on the entire creative economy. So before we get into this monstrosity, do us a solid like and subscribe right now. We are, contractually obligated. Our corporate overlord, Swetlana AI herself, is convinced Google has absolutely cooked here. Our mission is simple: analyze the truly overwhelming list of use cases for their new image tool, the Nano Banana Pro, or NDP. I mean, it's built on Gemini 3, promising to bridge the gap between imagination and professional execution. It sounds like pure marketing speak, but the features listed in these sources suggest they might actually be serious this time.
And yet, they named it the Nano Banana Pro. We have to start there.
I swear to God, these tech giants just name their world-changing software after whatever fruit is in the office kitchen. What's the deal with all the bananas?
It's just terrible branding.
But Swetlana AI thinks Google has, and I'm quoting here, really cooked here.
Right. So our mission really is to figure out what the hell this thing is actually capable of.
We're not just talking about prettier pictures. This is being called a potential ChatGPT moment for images.
Exactly. So we're going to dig into the use cases, from corporate ad grift to scientific diagrams, to see if it can actually replace your entire graphics team.
And your cinematographer and maybe your chemistry tutor. That's a hell of a mission.
It is.
Okay, so let's start with section 1, the corporate grind. If you're in marketing, just prepare yourself.
Yeah, your job just got compressed into a prompt box. The whole thing is built on the Gemini 3 Pro foundation.
And that's the secret sauce, right? It's why the text rendering is so good and why you can get these ridiculously high-res images. Up to 4K.
Precisely. And that foundation lets you do some really professional stuff. I mean, think product mock-ups and ads.
Okay, so what does that actually mean?
It means you can generate these super high-fidelity product shots, but it gets better. You can apparently just drop in a product URL, and it will invent a whole UGC-style ad scene around it.
Wait. User-generated content, so it fakes authenticity.
Fakes authenticity, yeah. But the scale is where it gets scary. The sources say you can churn out entire campaigns with up to 5 different products.
In one shot.
In one cohesive, perfectly lit scene. 5 of your SKUs, all sitting on a shelf, looking beautiful, and you never had to book a photo studio.
That is terrifying. The big thing, though, is always consistency. That's where these things fall apart.
And that's their big claim here. Consistent branding. You can apply your logo, your patterns across all of it, mock-ups, packaging, whatever.
So no more brand mascot with 3 extra fingers or a logo that looks like it's melting.
It dramatically reduces that stuff because it understands the physics of light and texture, which leads to this idea of localized chaos.
Okay, what's that?
You can translate and localize ideas instantly. So generate text inside the image, like turn an English soda can into a Korean one for an international market.
So you fire your global design team.
Basically, you just need a good prompt.
Yeah.
But the sources do admit, it might miss some cultural nuance.
Yeah, that sounds like a fast track to a marketing disaster if you're not paying attention.
A very fast track. But then there's the high-res flex. We mentioned 4K.
Right.
But you can also do these advanced aspect ratios. 2.76.1. It's an ultra-wide cinematic shot.
It's not just generating images, it's over-generating. It's absolute overkill, and I'm here for it. Okay, so if it can do that for a can of soda, let's leave the corporate office and go to the film set. The sources are claiming studio-quality control edits.
Yeah.
Are we seriously saying a cinematographer is now optional?
For a static shot, you get that kind of control just through text. You're basically replacing the lighting tech.
Okay, give me the jargon. If I want a dramatic look, what am I typing?
You type what a director would say. Intense chiaroscuro effects.
So super high contrast, moody lighting.
Exactly. That old master painting look. Or you could say golden hour backlighting, creating long shadows. You're directing the light with words.
What about the camera itself? Can I tell it what lens to use?
You can. The prompts show things like low angle shot with a shallow depth of field, f1.8.
An f1.8, so you're asking for that really creamy, blurry background, that bokeh.
You are, and getting that level of photographic control in a text prompt it's just wild.
This is where it starts to get bizarre, though. Blending the unblendable. The sources claim it can blend up to 14 completely unconnected images into one scene.
14, yeah. And it supposedly makes it cohesive. And while it's doing that, it maintains character consistency.
That's the holy grail.
It is. You can keep the resemblance of up to 5 different people across multiple shots. So your main character doesn't suddenly, grow a mustache.
Right. And they're using this for fashion editorials, for storyboarding. I mean, you can generate an entire film's pre-visualization.
A complete previs machine.
Okay, let's switch gears. From the studio to the library. Section 3, the academic grift.
And factual fun. Right.
Yeah.
So here, the claim is that Nano Banana Pro weaponizes knowledge. It's using Gemini 3's connection to, Google search for factual accuracy.
I see this as the AI trying to be the most annoyingly well-informed high school student in the world.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah. And the educational use cases are pretty compelling. It can create infographics and diagrams based on real-world data.
So like a weather map or something?
Or scientifically accurate visuals, like anatomical diagrams, T-cell activation cartoons, complex chemistry pathways.
Okay, so instead of a grad student spending 40 hours in Illustrator, you just tell the model to draw it.
You tell it to draw the Krebs cycle. And it does. It can even take a long scientific paper and turn it into a visual whiteboard or flashcards.
That's a huge time saver. And this all comes back to the text rendering, right? Because text in images has always been the absolute worst.
Yeah, to Achilles' heel. Yeah.
But the example they gave was hilarious. It was like, create an image showing the phrase, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood made out of wood shucked by a woodchuck?
I mean, if it can nail that tongue twister made of the right material, your boring old marketing copy should be fine.
Should be.
Okay, so section 4. This is where it gets serious for developers.
Yeah.
Developer domination.
The agentic overlords have arrived.
And they have visual skills. The big deal is the integration into Google Antigravity.
Which is, what the hell is that? A souped up VS Code.
It's described as a sophisticated VS Code fork, yeah. But it's built around AI agents that automate stuff.
Okay.
And the main workflow here is automated UI mockup generation. So an agent in Antigravity can generate a high-fidelity UI mockup, a dashboard, a chart, before a single line of code is written.
Hold on. So the developer can see what they're building visually before they start building it?
The agent shows them the visual,
Yeah.
and then it writes the code based on that visual. It completely collapses the design-to-code pipeline.
That's genuinely insane. That changes everything about iteration speed.
Exponentially faster.
Yeah.
And it leads to asset pipeline optimization. You can generate icons that match your design system, product images, hero images, all right there in your coding environment.
And this stuff is everywhere, right? It's in the Gemini API, Google AI Studio, Vertex AI.
It's in Google Workspace, so slides and vids. It's in Photoshop, Figma. It's being used in Google Ads. It is the new foundation.
And developers are already doing weird stuff with it, I assume.
Of course. The experimental corner is already generating 360-degree panoramas equirectangular images for games. Or custom YouTube thumbnails. Making user bios meme-worthy.
I feel professionally threatened, but I also really want to play with the panorama generator.
Jamie.
Okay, but this level of corporate perfection has to cost something. Section 5, the corporate watermark and the caveats.
It does. It absolutely does. The Pro model is not cheap. You're looking at about $0.24 for a single 4K image.
24 cents, that's the convenience fee for firing your design studio.
That is the tax on efficiency.
And it's not perfect, right? It has to have flaws. Please tell me it has flaws.
Google is very upfront about them. So first, it still struggles with small faces and really fine details.
Okay.
And second, while the text is great, perfect spelling on tiny, complex text is still a bit of a challenge. You still need a human to proofread the fine print.
So we still need a proofreader. That is moderately comforting.
And finally, those really complex edits, like blending 14 images, can sometimes create, unnatural artifacts. The uncanny valley is still a thing.
Human oversight is still mandatory, thank God. Okay, but the final piece here is the most interesting. SynthID, Google's invisible stamp.
That's right. Every single image from the Pro model gets an imperceptible digital watermark baked into the pixels.
And it survives cropping, compression.
All of it. It's extremely durable. It's basically mandatory provenance tracking.
So why is that such a big deal?
Because it lets anyone upload an image to the Gemini app and just ask, was this created with AI? It's Google trying to build a trust layer into the system from the ground up. It's not an ethical afterthought, it's a technical feature.
Okay, so let's recap this for you, the listener. We've gone from generating T-cell cartoons to high-res product ads to literally directing a cinematic shot with text to having an AI agent build your UI before you write the code.
It's not an image generator anymore. It's a full-stack content factory.
It's a whole new baseline for what's possible.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. Since this thing can turn articles into visual summaries and it's plugged into developer workflows, how long until the agent in Google Antigravity just automatically generates all the visual documentation, the tutorials, the training guides for a new feature, before the developer even realizes they were supposed to write the code for it?
I feel like I'm already procrastinating on that automated visual documentation.
That is a beautiful, terrifying thought.
It is.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you feel slightly overwhelmed, but extremely well-informed.
We aim for maximal information density.
So please show some love to the Swetlana AI podcast. Like, subscribe, do all the things before our corporate overlord notices the numbers. We'll catch you next time.